let's go to some stuff around today, if I can, please. Caroline, the Yes campaigners again today trying to downplay the quantum of money spent on Indigenous Australians. Now, I'm not talking about Indigenous Australians programs, government programs for Indigenous Australians. I'm talking about the whole box and dice. That's in a Productivity Commission report. It's there in black and white. I've adjusted it a little bit for inflation. It comes up to 39.5. In the original report, it was just over 33 billion. It's the government's own statistics. The facts are the facts, Caroline, and this to me is just like that whole fight over the Uluru Statement. I say it's a lot more than the PM's one-page poster, but this is what's dogging the Yes campaign.
Peter, I think it's another own goal from the Yes campaign because they are quibbling over semantics here. At the end of the day, the figures from this report that they're talking about today do confirm that according to the Productivity Commission stats, that figure, when inflated, when adjusted for inflation, is more than $39 billion a year. But any way you want to cut this, the facts remain that the government spending on Indigenous Australians is about twice as much as that on non-Indigenous Australians. Now, there's reasons for that, good reasons. The health outcomes for Indigenous Australians is much lower than for non-Indigenous, and many live in remote communities where the delivery of services is a lot more expensive. But let's not pretend it's anything different than what it is. There is a very high government spend on Indigenous Australians already, and the key outcomes out of the Closing the Gap report are not being met. So it is valid to question whether throwing even more money at this issue, because let's face it, that's likely what the Voice will be asking for, more money, is going to solve these problems when we have already directed so much money at the issue. And I don't think the Yes campaign is helping themselves by trying to pretend that this is misinformation instead of actually addressing these issues.
Right, Daniel Andrews, we're about the same age, he and I. I'm 52, he's 51. If I was to finish up work tomorrow and was eligible for a pension, I can't get it till I'm 67. He's going to get one right now, $300,000, a private driver, we're told, for the rest of his life. He can also go out there and get a job. I think this is bloody rich, Michael.
Yeah, rich is one word. It's a four-letter word. There's probably a few others one might want to throw around. But look, the average person listening out there who's got a self-managed super fund, Peter, and don't want to tap into the principal would have to have something akin to, I think, $6 million to be able to, on average, 5% drawdown, take $300,000 a year away. Now, very few people have that. The few that do, the federal government's coming after them. But this is another example, I think, of the haves and the have-nots as divided in the public arena. Now, Daniel Andrews is doing nothing extraordinary or individualistic here. These are the rules. But the average Victorian is right, I think, to question, with the state finances in the way they are, and having been left in that way after his tenure, whether such a large early pension is justified. I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose Mr Andrews could say, listen, I'm a Labor man from the left, I'm one of the workers and solidarity and all this sort of stuff, I'm not going to take it. But I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either. One thing he has done, he's flushed out Premier Palaszczuk, Caroline. She's come out and said, I'm absolutely committed to staying in the top job. Well, Andrews was saying that for months and months and months. He's gone. I think it's March next year, or it might even be May. She will then take over from Beattie as the longest-serving Labor Premier of Queensland. I reckon when she beats Beattie, apparently they don't like each other, when she beats Beattie, she'll do an Andrews.
Yeah, next day maybe, who knows. Look, I mean, when was the last time we could believe anything a politician says? So honestly, as soon as they say, I'm committed to doing this or that, you can kind of bet your bottom dollar it's not a question of if, but when. We've already heard concerns over her health in recent weeks, of a mysterious medical episode that she hasn't really explained. There's a lot of grumbling within the party about her. So I do think that it is quite likely that she won't make it to the next election, but it will be up to her because the state Labor rules make it very difficult for anyone to roll a sitting premier. So it will really be her call, it seems.
We will watch it closely. Carolyn and Michael, thank you both for your time.